Hi there. This is your favorite political scientist, Tim from Unbox Politics. And I wanted to talk about the election. I know, Mike, you did one of these, so I figured I'd do one too. And I've had a couple of weeks to think about it because my immediate reaction to the election was anger and despair. Anger at the Democratic Party for just cocking that up pretty good, and the despair that comes along with the second Trump term. And now that I'm like, I don't know, 2 weeks removed from it, I think I'm still angry at the Democratic Party. I'm angry that they catered to Republicans. I'm angry that they abandoned progressive policies. But I think the part that upsets me the most is they just didn't listen. I think that's why the election turned out the way it was, is they weren't listening to people. Like, the whole economy thing, yeah, inflation went down, yeah, the GDP is good, yeah, the stock market's up, but what does that matter for, like, regular fucking people, right? Inflation, was crazy for so long that prices are still high. Stock market, that only matters for fucking the people who have all the money anyway. It doesn't matter for me. I ain't got no money. Um, and the whole Liz Cheney thing and Vice President Harris hanging out with all these Republicans trying to get Republican votes. It turned me off as a voter. I mean, I still voted, but I wasn't happy about it. And I think that her campaign took what was rather a grassroots movement that was happening when she took over the campaign and after the convention and just wasted it. I think that all the energy from that campaign was gone by, I don't know, after the debate. And they captured lightning in the bottle for a second and it just went away. They just let it go. I don't think they focused on the issues that were key for major voting demographics. I don't think that they said enough about fixing the economy for the working class. And instead they got mired down in they got mired down in the Trump is a fascist stuff, and it's all true. We all know. We all get it. We had 4 years of Trump as president. We all get it. The problem is they demonized him, and it didn't work. Like, you could say all the stuff you want about Trump being a fascist, and he is, but they didn't focus on how they would, like, fix it, right? The campaign was far too focused on Trump. It wasn't focused enough on, like, actual what the Democratic Party was going to do. And, well, on what President Harris would do, right? Not the Democratic Party, President Harris. There was no focus on that. Sure, she came out with, like, the opportunity economy stuff, but, like, and I don't blame Vice President Harris specifically. I think she did the best she could with the time that she got, and the campaign just kind of got lost. I think she got some bad advice from her campaign managers about the catering to Republicans thing. I think she should have gone after the progressive vote that Joe Biden already lost. Because, as it turns out, like, what, 15 million people stayed home? 15 million Democrats, or people who voted for Joe Biden, stayed home. And Trump had, like, what, like 2 million people stay home? Like, that's the difference. 2020 was record turnout. The key thing is that, the Democrats just can't win this way, man. They've gone too far to the center. and it's been a problem for a while. Joe Biden's a centrist. He's not a progressive. Kamala Harris is not a progressive. They're centrist. Barack Obama was more progressive, but he was still kind of a centrist. Like, I'm not saying that Bernie Sanders should be president, but Bernie Sanders should have been president. Like, it's just, that would have been the best call, but, the Democratic Party needs to rethink its platforms and its strategy. And the reason, I mean, it's not 100% the Democratic Party's fault. This country is out of fucking control. It just is. The fact that Kamala Harris underperformed senators and House members in states where she lost, like the Democratic candidate for Arizona Senate won by the slimmest of margins, but he outperformed Kamala Harris by 5 points. So, there's probably a bit of racism / sexism going on there. Like, this country ain't voting for women for some reason for president, and it's crazy. Now we're here. We got 4 more years of Donald Trump. 4 more years of just insanity. This is where the despair comes in. I don't want to go through it. I don't like President Donald Trump. He's a lunatic baby person. And now there's no one to tell him no. He has nothing but yes men. And he's appointing all of them to, like, the most important position. So, it's not going to be a great 4 years. He's going to ruin the economy. He's gonna lay waste to the military with the people that he's appointing. Some of his own appointments aren't even gonna fly with the Republican Party, like fucking Matt Gaetz for Attorney General. Boy, that's a worst pick ever. And it'll just go on and on. Like, he doesn't care about governing. He doesn't care about any of this stuff. The only thing that he cares about is keeping himself out of prison and, having all the power. He's going to let everyone else decide what happens. He's going to let Elon Musk and the Heritage Foundation and all these fuckers who planned out Trump's presidency before he became president. That Project 2025 stuff. I don't know how much of it he can get done. I don't know how much of it is actually possible, but now it's possible. Like, it's not great. And I don't know. I mean, we're gonna keep doing the shows. Unbox Politics is coming back from a couple weeks off. I needed a break, first because I was sick, and then second because I took a trip. So there was that. But yeah, the Bin Networks, we're going to keep it going. I got some fun stuff coming up for Unbox Politics. We're going to have an end of the year little tournament for our best and worst. So keep an eye out. So keep an eye out for all that. And if you're feeling down, if you're feeling upset at the election, the best thing that I can say is then use that as motivation to get involved. Use that as your reason to go out there and, march, protest, non-violently, of course. We don't need any the Democrats tried to storm the Capitol stuff. Because wouldn't the Republicans love that? No, participate. Run for office. There's too many offices that are going unopposed at state and local levels. This was the Republican strategy, by the way. You start at state and local levels, you build foundations there, and then you move up and up and up. They had a good ground game. I mean, so did the Democrats, but the Democrats were sort of hampered by changing candidates midstream, which is Joe Biden's fault entirely. And the Republicans had it together. They are very good at running local elections and state elections, and they are very good at maintaining power in those areas. So if you really want to change things, it starts at the local level. Run for office, support candidates, contribute money to your local elections. That's where the real change can happen for you and your personal life, because it affects your schools, your taxes, yada yada, all that stuff. And in all reality, it's the best way to fight off whatever nonsense Trump is going to do, because the federal government and state governments have, let's say, competing powers in the Constitution, and you saw it even out there on election night. You can look at most of the states that had abortion on the ballot. Most of those states kept abortion, and Florida would have kept abortion in their constitution if they didn't have to have a supermajority for the vote, for the ballot measure. It's 60% instead of just simple majority. I think that's where the real groundwork is going to need to happen. Is Democrats need to rebuild their foundations, rebuild their infrastructure at the local and state level. And I've run before as a Democrat in a very competitive races, several of them. It sucks when you lose, but I did better the second time than I did the first time. So yeah, that's it. I know it was a little bit rambling, but I don't know. I just kind of wanted impromptu thoughts, stream of consciousness, and that's how the ADD functions. So we'll see you out there on the Unboxed Politics, speaking from the center. Like and subscribe on the bin. Check out our new audio-only podcast, The Book Revolution, which is a podcast with me and my wife. We talk about books, which is 90% not related to politics, so it's good stuff. And yeah, the struggle is real. We're gonna make it through this together, I guess, or I'm gonna move to another country. One of those two things is gonna happen. Peace.